All right. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is you may be tuning from in today. And welcome to today's Soul Formation, where we continue to kind of understand and learn and process the fact that our souls came to Earth for a reason. And what we want to do in this is give us the best advice possible from a scientific and from a scriptural view from Scripture to understand what we need to do to fulfill the destiny that our soul is here for. And today I would like to talk with you about how to handle people who agitate you, how to handle people that bother you and agitate you. Because we all go through life and we have experiences, wherever it may be, with people that through different moments that we can think of, who just agitate us, and they do things to push our buttons, and they do things that bug us. They they say things maybe that are negative. They hurt us. They hurt other people that we care about, and maybe they even talk about us behind our backs to others. So whenever we know these people, we come across these people, we see them in our life on a regular basis, and it's maybe somebody in your family, maybe it's a colleague, maybe it's a neighbor, maybe it's somebody that you know. It could be even somebody who lives in your immediate household. Okay. And the people, we see those on a regular basis. They try to do things that upset us. They cause us trouble. They say it's and they say things that make it rather easy for us to get irritated about. It's real easy to say things like, it's not fair, it's not right, they shouldn't be able to do this to me, or they shouldn't be able to say that. They can't get away with this. I need to defend myself. I need to defend myself, or I need to go straighten them out. Maybe even we feel like in some way, shape, or form, we need to show them something. We need to do something to get back at them. But a majority of these circumstances that take place are a simple demonstration. It's just a distraction of your precious energy. That's what a majority of these things are distractions or circumstances that are simply meant to throw you off course. So think of these as attempts of the enemy trying to throw you off course, trying to keep you from doing what your soul is destined to do. Remember, your soul is here for a reason. It's destiny to do something. And anytime we have these distractions throw us off course, that's just it's trying to lure you into something that you aren't meant to do. That's taking you off course. It's going to do you no good. When you're in disharmony and you're dwelling on these things and you're thrown off course, you are wasting your valuable energy and you're wasting your vitality on something that is going to do you no good. And that is a fact. You have to understand that. You're not here on earth as a soul to try to change the minds of these people. If you're attempting to gain their approval, or get them to like you, or get them to accept you in any way, shape or form, it's just draining. It's just draining to you. It's draining your vitality. It leads to conflicts. It leads to confusion within yourself. And these things are never healthy, and they're never helpful for taking you where you need to go. Some people will never be for you. That's just a fact of life. Some people will never be for you. Some people will never support you, no matter how good you are, no matter how pure your heart is, no matter how pure your intentions are. There's just going to be some people out there that are not for you, and they're going to attempt to throw you off, regardless of how pure your intentions are. You have to accept that. You do not need them to accomplish what you're meant to do. This is really important. You don't need them to accomplish what your soul is destined to do on earth. Period. You don't need them to bless you. You don't need their blessings in order for you to move forward in life. You don't need their blessings. And you certainly don't need them backing you up for God, for the universe, for Source to deliver to you what you need to fulfill that destiny that your soul's here to do. So don't let these people take up your precious energy. Don't let them disturb your peace. Don't allow yourself to get emotionally involved in anything that they say or do that's not helpful. In these cases, you want to guard yourself. You want to keep your guard up. Keep your barriers up like a gate around you. Keep your barriers up when you're around these people. That's just what you got to do. Maybe you can't avoid being around them. Maybe they're family, maybe there's somebody in your household, something like that. But you can, uh, maybe you can't avoid being around them, but you can limit your time that you're right there in their space. You can limit that. You can't prevent them from being aggravating to you, or being rude or stirring up trouble, but you don't have to allow it to pass your gates. You don't have to allow it in. You can keep it outside the barrier. Okay. Proverbs 4:23 is very clear. The scripture says to, above all else, guard your heart. This means you don't allow yourself to have intense feelings towards anything not taking you in the right direction. Don't let the bitterness, the judgment, how unfairly these people have acted towards you, or what they've said or what they've done, don't let that stuff inside. You don't have to. Keep it outside your gates. You're the gatekeeper. Don't allow that stuff in. Maybe real easy for some people to say, but Gabe, you don't understand my situation. You don't understand what I'm dealing with. They shouldn't be doing this. If they wouldn't say those things or act this way, I get that. I have a former spouse that's turned one of my own children against me. A 11-year-old daughter doesn't even want to talk to me because of something my former spouse has said and done. Okay. And my former spouse is somebody that we have not talked in 12 years, and she's still wanting to go to court and fight for nothing, for no reason whatsoever. So I'm not immune to these things. I'm not immune to people trying to steal my joy. I'm not immune to people that, regardless of my intentions and how much I've worked on myself and how pure my heart may be, these people will never be for me. So I just don't let them in. I keep my guards up. I keep my gate up. And my wife keeps her guards up and her gates up too. That's the best you can do, because these people don't determine what your soul is here to do. You don't need them. Okay. But you getting emotionally involved in them, you getting emotionally involved in the circumstances. I've done that earlier. Remember, I said this has been going on for 12 years. 10 years ago, I allowed myself to get emotionally involved in the divorce. I allowed myself to get emotionally involved in what she was doing. She was slandering me, doing everything she could to defamate my character, to say that I was a former Marine and I was crazy and I had all this PTSD and all this stuff. I got emotionally involved in that, and it ruined my business at the time. It ruined many things. Luckily, I had a strong woman that had my back the whole time. And overall, over time, I was able to get grounded and realize that it wasn't her. It wasn't my ex. It wasn't my former spouse creating the problem. It was me letting her in. It was me letting her in the gates. So I get that. I get things happen. But you cannot control others, period. You can only control yourself. No matter what, you cannot make people do what's right. You can't make people do what's right. But every time you allow yourself to get upset, you get emotionally involved in this, you drop your gates, you let them right in. Once it's inside, it only harms you. It only harms your health. It only harms your family, your close family, the kids around you. It only harms your business. Okay. Without a doubt. On top of that, you are giving them your power. Let me give you a suggestion. Do not talk to people who are not listening to you. Don't talk to people who are not listening to you. It wastes your vitality and will only diminish you, and it will diminish your character if you're trying to convince somebody that you're doing something good and they don't want to hear it. It devalues you to the core. And you trying to get your point across to people who are not listening only diminishes your character. So don't talk to people who aren't listening. Avoid them. Okay. I once heard that if you do this, that if you're trying to talk to somebody and you're trying to convince them how good you are, you're basically giving them a thermostat that controls your temperature. You're giving them a thermostat that controls your temperature. And it only makes you an uncomfortable temperature. What would they like to do with you? They want to make you hot? They can just crank it right up. Do they want to make you uncomfortable? They can crank it right up. Well, that's what you're doing with people when you're allowing them inside your gates and you're trying to convince them of your intentions and your purity, and you're trying to tell them what they should be doing instead of what they're doing. So let me give you some good advice. Take that thermostat back. Don't talk to them. Don't give them the time of day. Do yourself the good service of not allowing others to control your degree of comfort, period. Stop allowing others to mess with you. Stop allowing others by, what they say or what they do, because it'll only bring shipwreck into your day. Forbid yourself from allowing people who have issues, maybe their own traumas, maybe their own insecurities, maybe their own angerness, their own bitterness, their own resentful things that they're having. Don't let those people with their own issues determine how you live your life. Don't give it another day. Your soul came here on earth to fix itself. And believe it or not, if you don't fix it this time, you might have to do it again. So you're here to fix yourself. You're not here to try to fix others. You're responsible for your own results and your life. You're responsible for your own levels of happiness. You're responsible for your own levels of health, your own mental well-being, and you are responsible for your wealth. Those are all rights of everyone. You being a soul on earth, you have complete control of these things, whether you know it or not. You can take back control of that stuff. That's a right for everyone. But the minute you start giving your power away, the minute you let them inside your gate, the minute you hand them that thermostat that controls your degree of comfort, you give it all away. If you're living your life based upon what other people do, and for them to be the guiding stick, the measuring device on whether you're going to be liked, whether you're going to be good enough for them or happy, I promise you right now, that's a recipe for disaster, and it's a recipe for misery. Make up your mind right now. Today's the day you live through grace. Today's the day you live for your soul's purpose, no matter what other people think, and no matter what other people do. But Gabe, these people are always getting on my nerves. They're always getting on my nerves, Gabe. They're always getting on my nerves. They shouldn't be doing that. I want to ask you something. Yes, but who put them on your nerves? Who put them on your nerves? You did. You did. Do you think my former spouse, despite making my own child that I've been close with since she was in diapers, since day one, okay? And when my former spouse, was pregnant with this daughter, that's when we were going through a divorce. So my daughter has only known chaos her whole life, and I'm the only one that understands this besides my wife, Tiffany. You weren't to understand how those early imprints affect us and our self-image and everything else. All these things going on. My former spouse has successfully convinced my own loving daughter, who's been a part of our family since day one, that your dad never wanted you. Your dad never wanted you. Just complete lies. So my daughter doesn't even want to see me right now. Okay. Do you think that stuff gets on my nerves at all? No. Because what will it do? It'll only taint what I'm doing here. It'll only taint my business. It'll only taint the people around me. It'll taint me working on my clients. I just got done working with a client this morning, had a wonderful breakthrough. Now, if I'm bringing that garbage, if I'm bringing other people if I'm emotionally involved in something else, I can't be pure and let the divine work through me to help these people heal. And I can't be present with my kids. I can't be present with my wife if I'm carrying all that other stuff. So who's the gatekeeper? I'm the gatekeeper. I can decide what I allow in and what I allow out. Okay. Just like Proverbs said, who put them on your nerves? You did. by opening the gate. If these people get on your nerves, you allow them to get on your nerves. They don't control who opens your gate. They don't control who opens your gate of your mind and your heart. You do. You do. In Genesis 26, it mentions Isaac was redigging the wells that were his father's. They belonged to Abraham. And everything was very good for Isaac at this moment. The scripture's talking about he had plenty of water. Life was good for him. He had a beautiful pasture, an abundant life. He even signed a peace treaty with King Abimelech. Okay. He even signed a peace treaty with this king, and it seemed like everything was just going great for Isaac and his wife, Rebekah. However, the very last part of that description in the scripture, the very last line says, Esau's wives made life miserable for Isaac and Rebekah. What are we meant to learn from this part of the scripture? What's it describing here? It's saying that it shows Isaac had everything. He was doing really good. He had lots of abundance, beautiful pastures, all kinds of blessings, all kinds of peace. And yet this one verse shows a very simple demonstration without really any details. It didn't say what happened or what they did or anything else, but it gives us a demonstration that if we do not keep our gates up with certain people, even in the circumstances of blessings, even when things look great, even when we have lots of abundance going on, if we don't keep our gates up, we can easily let the wrong people in and they'll steal our joy. They'll rob us of that joy. That's what this is pointing out. If you look at your life closely, if you take a moment to look at your life, you're going to see someone who represents Esau's wife. You're going to see relatives, neighbors. You're going to see peers, coworkers, in my case, a former spouse, who represent Esau's wife. And they can do things to aggravate you and rob you of your joy. See, Isaac did not keep his gates up. That's what the scripture is trying to teach us right there. He let the enemy get inside of his gate. He let him get it right inside his heart, and he let them steal his joy. So don't let others inside your gates. Don't let them Don't let them come inside and upset you. Be on guard. Keep your guards up. Keep your gates up. The fact is, these people may not change. I fully accepted the fact that people around me may not change. My former spouse may not change, but you can change. That's the whole point of this. One of my favorite mentors says, when do things get better? Because how's next year going to look? You know, how's 2025 going to look? How's the election going to change things, right? Is it going to make things better for me? No. Things get better when you get better. Period. End of story. So don't wish that things would change. Wish that you could change. Okay. That's what you can change. Stop giving power to others. Keep your gates up. Your life will never be fulfilling if you're constantly depending on how other people treat you. Remember, you're the gatekeeper of your heart. Only you. Keep that gate up. Your soul is here for a specific reason. And if you don't want, if you don't want to allow others just to pass right into your gates and throw you off course and steal your joy and keep you from doing your soul's destination. That's the most critical part of why you're on earth. You're here to do something. Every one of us has something we're here to do. And when you allow the wrong people to pass in your gates and you allow yourself to get emotionally involved in ideas that are not taking you in the right direction, you're allowing yourself to get thrown off course, and you're allowing people to steal you of the joy. So you can't be your best, period. You cannot be your best version of you and do what your soul's destiny is aligned with if you're distracted. You can't be your best, and you cannot do what your soul's here to do if you are upset, if you're feeling as though they need to be dealt with, if you feel like you have resentment, you have guilt, you have bitterness, you have anger towards others. I promise you, this is only going to tarnish you. and it's going to distract you and keep you off track of what your soul's meant to do. You want to let them go, and you want to focus on divine, because he'll see to it. God will always see to it. He sees what's going on. He sees what's going on. He sees what's going on with my former spouse. I let him take care of that, not me. I will let him take care of that, not me, because there's things called karma, and that karma is very, very real. God will see to it they get their reward for what they've done to you. That's not your job. That's not your job. And as long as you're upset, and as long as you're holding on to that, and as long as you're bitter and you're resentful and all these other things, it's only going to tarnish you, and it's going to keep you distracted from doing what your soul is meant to do. Period. End of story. Okay. So keep your gates up. Allow yourself to not get emotionally involved in anything taking you in a direction other than where you want to go. And I kind of talked about this last time. You have the ability of your conscious mind to reject any idea that comes into it. Any idea that comes into you, you have the immediate ability to kick it out and reject it. Okay. Is it possible for everyone to turn their camera on for a moment? I want to share something with you. Let's see. Let's do a little test of everyone's gate. Okay. Okay, everyone turn their camera on. All right, excellent. Here's what I want to share with you, okay? I want everyone to do this real quick for me. Do this, okay? Where I can see it. Hold your hand up like this. All right, very good. Now I want you to do this. Put it right here on your chin. All right, three people put it on their chin. One of them put them right on their cheek. Yeah, you see that? So just a little test to see who allows that stuff to flow right into your gate. Yeah, I put it here, and some people go, huh? You know, other people go, oh, your chin right there. So it's just a little test. Why would you put it right here? Why would you put it right here whenever I did it? Because that gate's wide open. All right. The gate's wide open. So around people that are around you, that irritate you, that push your buttons, you can't do anything to change them. And it's not your soul's journey or destiny to do that. And it can be real easy for you to get agitated, thrown off course, upset. But Gabe, you don't know my situation. And you don't know mine either. And I don't allow my energy, my precious energy, to go in directions other than where I want it to go. I want to focus on growth, greater expansion, health, happiness to everyone in my home. And I just will not allow those things to take over my life anymore. I will not allow that stuff to pass into my gate, because you're the only one that controls your gate. So it's up to you to keep that stuff out. All right. Makes sense for everyone? All right. Lovely. I will see all you people back next week.
Thank you so much. Have the best day.
Bye-bye.